You've been setting goals wrong your entire life, and you don't even realize it. Because the way you've been taught to set goals sounds good on paper. You've written them down. You've said them out loud. You've visualized the future. You've made your vision boards. But year after year, you fall short. Not because you're lazy, not because you're broken, because the entire system you were sold is broken. Most people treat goals like destinations on a map. They imagine a future where everything works out perfectly. I will have this job. I will live in that house. I will make X amount of money. I will lose Y pounds. As if life was a linear highway where you simply drive forward until you arrive. But life doesn't work like that. You get sick. Markets crash. Relationships end. Unexpected bills appear. Motivation disappears. And suddenly, that perfect plan you built collapses like a house of cards. You blame yourself. You feel weak. You start thinking maybe you just aren't disciplined enough. But you are not the problem. The problem is how you think about goals. You've been trained to believe that goals are about outcomes. But real progress never comes from chasing outcomes. It comes from building systems. The truth is this. Outcome-based goals set you up for emotional failure. Why? Because you anchor your self-worth to something you don't control. You can't control how fast you get promoted. You can't control how many people subscribe to your YouTube channel. You can't control how fast the scale moves when you're losing weight. When your goals depend on external validation, you're building your identity on unstable ground. Every small setback feels like a personal attack. Every missed milestone feels like a reflection of your worth. You begin to associate effort with pain instead of progress. This is why so many people quit. The gym feels unbearable after 2 weeks of no visible results. The side business gets abandoned when the first product launch flops. The YouTube channel dies after 10 videos with low views. It's not because they aren't capable. It's because they were measuring progress by results instead of systems. Let me give you a simple example. A man says, I want to lose 20 pounds. He creates a plan, 5 workouts per week, strict diet, calorie tracking. After 3 weeks, he steps on the scale. He's only lost 2 pounds. He feels like a failure. Motivation drops. He skips workouts. He eats more. The goal fades. What happened here? He didn't fail because the system was bad. He failed because he was addicted to short-term proof. He measured his success based on what he couldn't control, the speed of weight loss. But what if he measured progress differently? Instead of, I need to lose 20 pounds, his goal becomes, I execute my system, work out 5 times per week, track my food daily. Now, every day he completes the process, he's winning. The outcome becomes a byproduct. The emotional reward comes from consistency, not results. This is the shift that high performers make. They design systems they can execute regardless of how they feel. They anchor their identity to habits, not to outcomes. Because systems build durability, and durability beats motivation every time. Let's step into the science for a moment. Your brain isn't wired for delayed gratification. It's wired for immediate feedback. When you chase outcome-based goals, you're constantly delaying your emotional reward. I'll feel happy once I reach the goal. But the longer that delay, the more your brain starts associating the process with pain. This is what researchers call the expectancy value theory. The more uncertain a reward feels, the lower your brain values the effort required to chase it. This is why people abandon long-term goals, not because they lack discipline, but because their brain perceives the reward as too far away. Systems solve this problem. Systems create immediate feedback loops. You get to feel progress every single day because the system itself is the reward. James Clear, author of Atomic Habits, puts it perfectly. You do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. When you focus on systems, you give your brain frequent small wins. Each workout completed. each book read, each video uploaded, each productive hour worked. These micro wins triggered dopamine, the neurochemical of motivation. And once your brain starts associating effort with satisfaction instead of stress, consistency becomes natural. This is called behavioral reinforcement, one of the most powerful mechanisms in human psychology. Top performers engineer their systems to feed these micro rewards. For example, writers commit to writing 500 words a day, not finishing a novel. Investors commit to reading financial reports daily, not predicting stock prices. Entrepreneurs commit to building one new feature weekly, not launching a perfect product. The process becomes the identity. And when identity shifts, discipline becomes automatic. Because you no longer say, I want to be disciplined. You say, I am someone who does this. Look at anyone who's achieved extraordinary success, and you'll find one common thread. They don't obsess over goals. They obsess over systems. Example 1. The author. Consider Stephen King. He doesn't sit down every morning thinking about bestseller lists or book sales. His system is simple. Write 2,000 words every single day, no matter what. Whether he's inspired or tired, the system runs. Over time, those daily sessions compound into novels. King once said, amateurs sit and wait for inspiration. The rest of us just get up and go to work. Example 2. The investor. Look at Warren Buffett. He doesn't set goals like, I want to make 10 billion this year. His system is reading. Every day, he spends 5-6 hours reading financial reports, company filings, and books. That system allows him to make better decisions when opportunities appear. His wealth is a byproduct of executing the system long enough for compounding to do its work. Example 3. The athlete. Think of Kobe Bryant. Kobe didn't wake up every day saying, I want to win 5 championships. His system was built around insane repetition, 4 a.m. shooting drills, hundreds of free throws daily, film study after games. I wasn't the most talented. I just worked harder than everybody. His championships were not goals. They were outcomes of a system that produced excellence. The pattern. Across disciplines, the pattern repeats. Clear system, daily execution, identity alignment, time compounding. The hidden benefit of systems do more than help you achieve success. They protect you when life gets hard. Because when motivation fades, and it will, systems carry you. You don't feel like writing? The system says write 500 words. You don't feel like working out? The system says 30 minutes is mandatory. You don't feel like studying? The system says read 1 chapter. Motivation is emotional. Systems are mechanical. And mechanical wins in the long run. Now let's get practical. You understand why systems work. The question is, how do you build one? It comes down to 4 simple principles. 1E. Focus on process, not outcome. Stop asking, how much weight do I want to lose? How much money do I want to make? How many followers do I want to gain? Start asking, what process can I execute daily, regardless of circumstances? For example, 5 workouts per week. No matter the scale. Write 1,000 words per day, regardless of book sales. Reach out to 3 new clients daily, regardless of immediate deals. Outcome follows process. Always. 2. Make it stupidly simple. The best systems feel almost too easy to fail. Instead of reading 50 books, commit to reading 10 pages per day. Instead of massive workouts, commit to showing up at the gym 4 days a week. Instead of creating perfect content, commit to uploading 1 video weekly. Why simple? Because friction kills consistency. Complex plans collapse under stress. Start so small that consistency becomes inevitable. 3UR, designed for environment control. You will not win by relying on willpower. You win by removing resistance. Lay out your gym clothes the night before. Block distracting apps during work hours. Keep junk food out of your house. Set your phone on airplane mode while writing. Environment is stronger than intention. Control the triggers. The system will follow. 4. Attach identity to behavior. This is where real transformation happens. Don't say, I'm trying to get fit. I'm trying to build a business. I'm trying to read more. Say, I am a person who trains daily. I am an entrepreneur who creates value every day. I am a learner who reads every day. When your identity aligns with your system, discipline becomes effortless. Because not doing the behavior feels like breaking who you are. James Clear calls this identity-based habits. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your identity. Master these 4 principles, and your life becomes inevitable. You won't need willpower. You won't need motivation. You'll simply execute daily, automatically, relentlessly. Here's the brutal truth most people never realize. Success isn't sexy. It's boring. It's mechanical. It's invisible for long periods of time. The world celebrates outcomes, the bestseller, the millionaire, the championship. But the real work, it happens in silence, writing when no one reads, training when no one watches, studying when no one cares, building when no one notices. That's where 99% of people fail. They crave the reward, but they can't stomach the silence. They quit during the invisible phase. The invisible phase, every system has what I call the desert, a period where results feel non-existent. You eat clean, but the weight won't drop. You post videos, but views stay flat. You network, but no one responds. You study, but progress feels slow. Most people die in the desert. They abandon the system before the system compounds. But those who survive the desert, they cross into what few ever experience, the compounding curve. Suddenly, weight drops fast. Business scales. Audience explodes. Skills skyrocket. It feels like overnight success, but it was never overnight. It was the system, grinding quietly, stacking invisible wins until the curve bends. Why most people stay stuck? Because they chase feelings, not systems. I don't feel motivated today. I don't see results yet. I don't think this is working. They allow emotion to govern execution. But emotions are liars. If you only execute when you feel like it, you lose. If you execute regardless of feeling, you win. The decision you must make. The greatest decision you can make isn't what goal to set. It's which system you're willing to run indefinitely, a system you can sustain through boredom, a system you can execute during stress, a system that aligns with your identity. Because once you commit to a system, you commit to inevitability. The final truth, you've been setting goals wrong your entire life. Not because you're weak, not because you're undisciplined, because you were taught to worship outcomes. Now you know better. Build systems. Design environments. Attach identity. Execute daily. Do that and let time do its work. The results will come, but they were never the point.